Recruiting Director Taylor Brett just wrapped up a news conference talking about all the K-State football signees that did sign today on the National Letters of Intent signing day. Now, head coach Chris Klieman and athletic director Gene Taylor is just about to speak. Let's take a listen. All right, they look like they are about to walk through those doors, but Chris, this is a huge day just for the Kansas State football program in general, and as well for head coach Chris Klieman, who this has shocked a lot of people. Obviously, this was a season that we didn't really predict for Kansas State. They did finish 6-6. They did clinch a bowl game, but this is a little bit shocking news.
So many expectations, though. I called it an uneven season, and we joked back in August, you don't want that Dublin game, because if you lose that, you don't know what's going to come into it. But the news coming out then for today, and then of course him confirming this, and Chris Klieman had really good seasons there, 54-34. He had incredible success at North Dakota State. Gene Taylor was the athletic director, hired him on there at NDSU, also hiring him at Kansas State as well, too. So curious to see how this all plays out.
Well, and here he is in 2022 hoisting the Big 12 title trophy, which was a huge deal because a lot of people didn't predict Kansas State to really rise to the cream of the crop. And once he took over for the program, he really did help that. And of course, these last couple seasons led them to multiple wins in each season. Also, he won the Governor's Cup for 7 straight seasons, which is versus KU in the Sunflower Showdown. So that's a huge deal as well. But yeah, for Klieman, he had a lot of success with the Kansas State football program. And there also are reports that Colin Klein will take over as head coach. If you know Colin Klein, if you know the Kansas State football program, he's currently the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. And he coached with Klieman for many years. He did leave last year to go to Texas A&M. And we just got word that they are about to start the press conference. Let's take a listen.
I can't thank everybody for being here. It just goes to show me and prove to me that the good guys win, and doing things the right way and doing it with class and doing it with integrity is the right way. And guys, that's the K-State way. And it's been an emotional day for me. I am at peace. I've had so many colleagues, former players, parents of current players, text call to congratulate Rhonda and I, and it's why I'm in this business, is to have that impact not just on a kid that plays for you, but on a parent, on a support staff member, on everybody that you touch. And that's leadership to me. Leadership to me is how many people you can impact on a daily basis and make sure that's a different person every day. And as I retire after close to 35 years in this business, I've already visited with our players, but I'm one of the lucky ones. I spent 15 years at the last 2 stops, and that's a rarity. And I know some people in here have had that ability, and it's unique. It doesn't happen enough anymore. And relationships with players, impacts on people that reach far beyond this game, that's always been my passion, and that's always been my burn, is trying to continue to impact people. I believe that, and believe and live like this, that players play for coaches that care, coaches coach for coaches that care, and a support staff supports a head coach that cares. And I hope everybody that's come across me, whether it's players, support staff, here at K-State or places I've been have said, I will say this, that guy cares. And he's going to have my back. And I'm not going to throw people under the bus, and I'm going to continue to love them. I'm going to challenge the heck out of them, but I'm going to love them. My entire coaching life, I've put other people first. And for the first time ever, I'm putting Rhonda, Devin, Haley, and Colton first. I got to express my gratitude to and thanks to Gene Taylor for believing and entrusting this program to me. It's hard to believe it's been nearly 7 years ago that Kenny and Preston and Starkey came up and picked me up. They'd never been so cold in their life in Fargo. And we flew down here and started a journey that it's been almost 7 years. And I took this job with little to no Power 4 experience. But I had a guy that believed in me and loved me. And I'm proud of what we accomplished in these 7 years. Won a Big 12 championship. I think we had eight or more wins, and there's 8 teams in the country that had that for 4 straight years. And we made it to a bowl game 6 out of 7 years at a place like Kansas State. And we did it with hard work, we did it with dedication, we did it with the right kind of people, and we had everybody with both feet in all the time. And that's not just players, that's coaches, that's support staff, that's everybody. I'm a big believer in being defined by a moment, not a body of work. And thanks to all the great players, thanks to all the great support staff, thanks to all the great coaches, I look at my 5 years at North Dakota State with great players, great coaches, great support staff. We won 4 national championships in 5 years. Look at my 7 great years here with the accolades we talked about. And as a head coach of Division I in 12 years, I'm damn proud of the body of work that all of us put together. And guys, I'm not going anywhere. It's not a funeral for me. And I told the guys that. And you know, I've always said this when I come into this room after a tough loss: do not walk around eggshells on me. Don't do that. We're gonna celebrate my career. We're gonna celebrate. I'm gonna be around here next week for the players. I'm gonna get out of here this weekend with my family and go see my kids. But I'll be around here next week to visit with all our players and answer those questions of those guys. But I can't thank all of you enough. I can't thank all of you enough for being the people who you are and for allowing the Kliemans to come into Manhattan and build something here. And Gene and I talked about this a couple of different times. I followed Craig Bull at North Dakota State after he won 3 consecutive national championships, and people said, don't you dare follow Craig Bull. And we won 4 or 5. And I followed the greatest coach, in my opinion, in the history of college football, in Bill Snyder. And everybody said, don't want to do that. And I said, I just followed a guy that won 3 in a row and we did okay. I'm ready to go to work. And I think we did a pretty damn good job here.
What an emotional news conference there for Chris Klieman, who is retiring from Kansas State football. I love that he gave love to Bill Snyder. Tough shoes to follow, a legendary coach in Manhattan.
And he never deviated that much from the Snyder method, which going back to 1989 when he started, then he was away for 3 years, coming back in 2009. Of course, that's when Colin Klein started as a quarterback. But that foundation's still in place. And to be successful in Manhattan with K-State, I don't think you can veer too far from that. Klieman knew exactly what was before him, like he did with NDSU, and had similar success.
Right, and he was successful, a Big 12 title. He went to a Pop-Tarts Bowl, a guaranteed rate bowl last year. Again, I was at the Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando. So much fun for that program, and I know a lot of the guys respected him year in and year out, even after they lost that game at Utah. Head coach Chris Klieman was very emotional after that game. You saw Gene Taylor, the athletics director, hug him and say, "You're good." And it's nice to see that he was showing emotion here, too.
The world in college football has shifted. You have NIL now. You can legally pay players.
Yeah.
You have to kind of re-recruit your team the whole time. When we saw where Chris Klieman was a couple weeks ago, and I say this as a man in his 50s, He looks like a man who does not have job stress. He looks very different than a couple weeks ago. And I think he knows that he did a good job. There's always going to be critics, but he's not leaving them in a bad place. It's different than when Snyder had to come back in 2009.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot to tip his cap on, and we'll keep you updated too with the reports of Colin Klein taking over as head coach.
Yeah, well, and very curious to see how that plays out as well. Will the prodigal son come home after starring there for K-State? We'll be right back.